Hey guys, I figured I'd hop in here a few seconds early. I have one kid home today. I have 4 kids, and I just gave him snacks. And I swear sometimes having my one youngest home over the other ones is harder. Like, it's so weird. So anyways, I just gave him snacks and M&Ms and crap and put him in front of the TV. So I'm hoping that he is quiet for a little bit. So that's why I figured I would just get started earlier. I'll give everybody like 1 minute to hop on, and then I'm going to start just because I hate the awkward beginning of the videos when you're waiting on people to get on and saying hi to everybody. Hey Angelica! See, I'm doing it. So anyways, I'm just going to actually start so the people who watch the playback aren't like watching me just sit here awkwardly. So anyways, I am talking today about inviting, and I was like, I don't know if that's a good topic for me to talk about, because I don't have like a script. I don't have any really go-to crushing, groundbreaking tips to inviting. I just share who I am, and that's kind of my inviting. And I realized, you know what, that's my power to inviting, is sharing who I am, what I stand for, and that is how I invite people. Because honestly, you guys, every day through every social media post we share, we are subtly inviting. So everything that you share constantly is an invite into your life, into your business, into your groups, and all of that. So just remember that you don't have to have a perfect script or anything like that. So I took some notes on what I was going to talk about. So I'll go over a little bit of that, but I honestly could sit here and give you all these scripts. I could give you exactly what to say to each person. I could tell you 1,000 things about Shakeology and about the business and about this and that. But if you don't have you in your business, you don't have anything. So I kind of want to share something that makes sense for business for me. So anyways, I've been having like really bad cystic acne. I don't know where, I think it's my diet. And I have been talking about it on my social media, and a lot of people have reached out to me, Roden and Fields or whatever, all types of stuff has been thrown at me. And it's just like, and I've had women give me all the facts about the best acne solution. I've had people give me all the ingredients that are in their products. I've had people tell me this, that, everything, medical advice on what I should do with my acne. And here's the thing. I will not take advice from somebody who has never had acne. I will not buy something from somebody who has never experienced what I am experiencing. So you know what that tells me about our business is, if we're not experiencing things and we're not sharing how it's changing our lives, people are not going to buy from us. This girl told me every single ingredient that was in this acne cream that was supposed to cure my cystic acne. And I said, oh, have you had cystic acne? And she said, no, but I've heard. And I was like, okay, that's great, but until you have the same exact skin type I have, until you experience cystic acne, until I see your cystic acne on your face clearing up, I'm not going to buy what you're selling. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, if you don't experience it and you're not showing me that you've been through it and you've felt the emotions that I felt and that you've had a cure from your product, I'm not going to buy what you're selling. So I always think about that as our business. We could say all the ingredients in Shakeology. We could say how great our workouts are. We can say how great that ultimate refresh is. But until we walk the walk and talk the talk and walk the walk, we're not doing anything. We're not adding value to people's lives. So just remember that, you guys. Would you buy something from someone if they have never done it, if they have never been in your shoes, if they have never experienced what you're feeling? Probably not. So if you're not sharing those experiences, you're not inviting anybody. So these people were throwing all their advice at me, but they had never walked in my shoes. So I'm not going to buy what you're selling. End of story. Until you walk through what I'm going through, have felt the cystic acne on your face, I'm not buying what you're selling. So you guys, remember that. Are you going to buy something from somebody who tells you the ingredients and knows all the facts? Or are you going to buy it from the person who might not have the best sales spiel, but has pictures to prove that they've been in your shoes, that they've walked in the feelings that you've walked in? I'm going to buy from that person 1,000 times over if they have experienced what I'm experiencing. And that's what it comes down to in this business. We have to be experiencing and we have to be sharing. We can be experiencing all these great things with Shakeology and with fitness, but if we're not openly sharing it, we're not adding value, we're not changing lives, and we're not openly inviting it. So that's one thing that I think about all the time, is that if I'm not talking about what I'm feeling, if I'm not talking about what I'm going through, if I'm not talking about the program, if I'm not talking about Shakeology, I'm adding no value to their lives, and I'm not inviting them into my life as well. So one thing I wrote down is, you don't need more knowledge, you don't need more facts, you just gotta go. You just gotta throw yourself into this, and you just gotta rise to the occasion, figure it out along the way. So that is one thing I wanna say. You don't have to have all the knowledge, you don't have to have all the facts down, you don't have to know everything, you guys. Just go, okay? That is one thing I wanna say up front. On your social media, just go. Just be you and go. The next thing I wrote down is, knowledge moves no one. What moves people is connection. So that girl who was trying to sell me it with all her facts and crap, I was just like, okay, cool. But the girl who told me her story about, hey, it changed my skin, it changed my life, and I feel so much better. Here's a picture to prove it. Bingo! I could care less about the facts. I care about seeing that it worked for somebody else. So you guys, that is what our business is seeing that it works, not knowing all the facts. Knowledge moves no one. What moves people is connection. So connecting on the same exact fact is what moves people. And that's what we're sharing through our social media. So the next thing I wrote down is, you are your greatest power, you guys. When I started this business, number one, I thought there was no way I could make this business work whatsoever. I am a mom. I had just had my 4th baby in 5 years. We have 4 little boys, back to back to back to back. And I hate fitness. Well, I hated fitness. I hated eating clean. I hated all of it. So I'm like, there's no way I can be a coach. And when I first started this, I was running a blog called The Real Health Wives with my sister-in-law. And we are complete polar opposites. She's a very, very healthy person, and I am just, have a cupcake, have a piece of cake, do whatever you want. So we were running this blog together, you guys, and she got really angry with me because I wasn't the perfect picture of health and fitness, because I would eat a piece of pizza, because I would say, I don't care, just eat the pizza. If it's in front of you, just eat the pizza. And she got all angry because I wasn't being a real health wife. And I realized early on that people were attracted to me over her, and that my power was me being imperfect, that my power in changing lives was me being real. It wasn't me being a textbook of medical advice. It was me just being me and sharing what makes me tick, what helps me to get healthy. What doesn't help me to get healthy is being perfect. I can't be perfect. And sharing that helps people see that they don't have to be perfect in this journey. And it's so scary because we always think of ourselves as coaches. Coaches are experts. Coaches know everything. No, we don't. We're the same as our friends, you guys. So you have to be sharing that. And you have to be sharing the realness of your life and not the perfection. So stop pretending to be somebody else is something I wrote down. Stop looking at, okay, it's great to look at top coaches, it's great to follow their social media, but do not ever compare yourselves to them. That is one thing I learned earlier on. I'm never going to be the certain people. The only person I can be is myself. And when you stop following other people and when you stop trying to be them, that's when your power starts to grow and inviting. That's when you start to get the confidence. Because if you're pretending to be somebody else on your social media and sharing things that aren't really you, when people talk to you, they're going to be like, who is this chick? No. You want to be you through and through your posts, through when you're talking to people. You want it to be the same person. You want it to be you. So stop pretending to be somebody else. The next one is stop perfection. Like I said, nobody wants perfect. Everybody wants the real unfiltered version. I always tell my team, on your social media, people love reality TV. We watch reality TV because we like to see the behind the scenes of people's lives. We don't like to see perfectly scripted things. So that's why your social media is your platform to just be you. And I know this is inviting you guys, but your social media is your invitation every single day. You are inviting people into your life. You're inviting them to take a look at how imperfect you are, how messy things can get, and how great it can be when you laugh at the mess and you just roll with the punches. So that is one thing. Stop the perfection, stop trying to be somebody else, and just be you. The next thing I wrote down is share it all, the good, bad, and the ugly. So this is one thing that is hard for people, and I see it a lot. My coaches are like, well, this picture wasn't part of my journey with Beachbody. So I went through all these pregnancies, and I used it before my pregnancies, in between my pregnancies, and all that stuff. And some people get caught up, well, I wasn't doing Beachbody programs back then, so that had nothing to do with my business. Yes, it does. Every single part of your life has to do with who you are today, which is your business. Who you are today is your business. But everything that you've encountered in your life leads up to where you are now, and everything matters. So my childhood matters. There are things in my childhood that have shaped me to who I am today. There's things that in high school shaped me to who I am today, you guys. So don't leave out the past. Don't leave out the ugly. Don't leave out the bad, because that's how you got to where you are today, to this new person that you have become. So make sure you are sharing all of that, you guys. I cannot stress that enough. You want to be sharing the good, bad, and the ugly. I have done this business where I tried to pretend to be perfect in the beginning, and I was like, I can't do this. You can't pretend. You have to be you in this business if you want it to grow to its full potential. So make sure you are being you. You're sharing the good, the bad, the ugly, and be real, you guys. I used to think that me struggling with anxiety and depression was not good for my business. I used to think that me showing my weaknesses would not be good for my business. I used to think that me talking about how my kids annoy the crap out of me would not be good for my business. But in all reality, everybody feels these same exact things. And the more you share, the more you're helping people, the more you're inviting them into your circle of, hey, I've been through it too. I know exactly what you feel, and we can get over this together, because we get over things together, you guys. Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be suffering in anxiety and depression and weight loss alone. It's cutting out. I'm going like crazy. I don't know what it's doing. So I hope it's not chopping in and out. I hate when my live videos do that. So everything matters. The good, the bad, the ugly in your life matters. Next thing I wrote on is we're actually going to go into inviting. So I guess I don't have anything to say. Do you guys have anything that you want me to talk about as far as sharing on social media? Because when it comes to inviting, I invite through my posts. I invite through sharing my struggles. I invite through sharing who I am. I invite through sharing the ups and downs of lives. That is my invitation to people, is my social media every day. It's not always the messages, not me saying, hey girl, I think you'd be great at that. Doesn't work for me. Cold messaging just doesn't work for me. So I open by me being me, by me having open invitations. So what I've done in the past couple of years is I used to always word vomit on people when I'd invite them, or they'd ask me a question. I'd be like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. It has 70 superfoods and blah, 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 blah. And I would just go on this tangent, and I'd scare the crap out of people, honestly. So what I found, my son's screaming. Hold on one second. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, sorry guys. See you real life. Kids get in the way, it gets messy. So anyways, I used to word vomit on people and think that I have to have all the facts when I'm talking to them. And that is not at all the truth. So what I've done over the past few years is that I have actually started doing a form. I have people fill out a form instead of me asking them to message me or leave their email, because I found that inside this form, I started doing it at the beginning of the year actually, and it's helped me so much. So on this form, I send them there all the time. It's in the top of my Instagram. I put it into every post that I do that I'm inviting people to. So what I will do when I'm inviting is I will share either a before and after, a part of my story, and I will say, if you'd like more information, please fill out my form. And inside this form is where I gather all the information about these people, because I used to just word vomit, like I said, and tell them things that they might not have even wanted information on. So it's very scary, right? When you're talking to somebody and you don't know what their goals are or what they want information on. So this form is the first step that they get to talking to me, because it asks them the questions. Number one, it asks them their name and email. It asks them how they found me. It asks them what they struggle with. Like, what's your biggest hurdle? Is it time, money, never follow through, things like that. And then I ask them if they've ever done a Beachbody program. I ask them if they have a coach, because you don't want to get somebody who has a coach, okay? The next thing I ask them is what they want information on. Do they want information on my accountability group? Do they want information on being a coach? Do they want information on All Access? And right now I'm currently doing the Ultimate Reset, so I also have, do you want information on the Ultimate Reset? And then at the bottom I say, please tell me a little bit about yourself and what I can help you with. And this allows them an unfiltered time to be able to open up to me. And I can't tell you, some people just skip that question, that last question, but I've had people fill out that last question. What can I help you with? Tell me a little bit about yourself. I've had them fill out 2 to 3 paragraphs about themselves, which gives me this whole realm of things to talk to them about. I now know their kids' names, I know their husband, I know how many kids they've had in the past couple of years. I know a lot about them. And it's amazing, you guys, because they are telling me all that before I even form an email to them, before I even know what to invite them to. And they're telling me what they want to be invited to. They're telling me that they want information on All Access. They want information on my accountability group. So what I do then is I formulate my invitation to them from that form, you guys. So I'm not having to think, oh my God, what am I going to say to this person? I don't know what to say. I know what I'm going to say because they told me exactly what they want me to say. So I'm saying, hey girl, thank you so much for taking the time to fill it out and letting me get to know you a little bit more. Literally, that's what I say. And then I go into, I see that you have time management, that you don't have enough time in your day. Can you give me a little bit more information about what your day looks like? And then I can ask them questions and kind of fill it in. So the biggest thing when you're talking to people is asking them questions. So right up front, I'm giving them that form, I'm asking them those questions. And it has been a lifesaver for me. So guess what? If they don't ask about All Access and Shakeology, I'm not going to tell them my whole spiel on Shakeology because they don't care at that point. It's not what they want right then. And it doesn't mean that that's not what they're going to want down the road. So I give them the information that they want for where they are right now. Because if you guys have realized, we can't force people to go into this with us. They have to be in that right mindset. They have to be in the enough is enough, I'm going to do this, and they have to be ready to do it. We can't force them to do it. We just have to be a pillar of strength and hope in our social media every single day. And when they're ready, they will come to us. And having that form there and talking about our open invitation all the time is giving them the opportunity to say, I'm ready, let's do this. And they can reach out to you and you can reach out to them. So you're not bothering them, you're not pestering them, and you're not pushing something on them that they don't want. They know they can come to you, tell you about themselves, and you're gonna help them where they are at in their lives. So the form has been huge for me, you guys, and asking them those questions because people want to be heard. People don't want to just hear about you all the time. So one thing I wrote down is be interested, not interesting. So you can be interesting and all get out on your social media, but when it comes to messaging one-on-one, you want to be interested in them, not them being interested in you. Do you know what I mean? So I used to do it all the time. I used to be like, well, I've lost 10 pounds from this, before I would even ask them a question about themselves. So this was at the beginning of my business. You guys, it's taken me 2.5 years to figure out how to talk to people. So if you can figure this out early on, it's going to be so much better for you. You will not struggle like I did. So asking them questions, figuring out what they need, not what you need, not what you've experienced. You need to figure out what they need, what they're experiencing right now, and how you can help them get to the other side of this. So that's what I do in inviting, is I ask them questions. And I'm sure a lot of the other leaders have talked about that, is asking the questions. So what are your goals? If you guys aren't doing a form yet, this is easy to ask inside an email. So I still have people messaging me like, hey, what's this ultimate reset you're doing? And I tell them, hey, in a nutshell, it's a 21-day cleanse. But then I ask, what are your goals? What are you looking for? Are you looking for something long-term? Are you looking for this? What's your biggest struggle right now? And then I turn it around on them, because when they start telling me what they need, I can talk to them, because guess what? A lot of people aren't going to be mentally ready for an ultimate reset, and they might be better suited for a 3-day refresh, or they might be better suited for a 21-day fix and figuring out their portion containers. But I won't know that unless I ask those questions. So when I am inviting, when I am talking to people, it's all about them, and then it's me behind the scenes trying to figure out what will work. And the cool thing is, when you ask them in those questions in your form or in your messages, is that if they tell you something and you don't know, you can go to your team and you can ask questions. This lady, like, just say, I don't know, here's an instance. This lady has diabetes. Is Shakeology good for her? Hey, have you guys had customers with Shakeology and diabetes? What has been their, what has happened with them? Does it work for them? And then you can go to them with advice and say, hey, yes, we've had people with diabetes use Shakeology and have great results. And, it just gives you more time to think, because I feel so often we're just like, oh my gosh, I have to message them back. They want information and I have to tell them everything all at once. That's not what we need to be doing. We need to be thinking, we need to be slowing down, and we need to be coming back with great responses. I always thought that I have to answer somebody right away, that the second they email me, I have to have the answer and I have to be typing to them. No, you have to think, and you want to ask them questions, and you want to get to know who they are, and you want to figure it out. So my best tips to inviting are being yourself on social media, you guys, talking about the good, the bad, the ugly in this journey, sharing your past before Beachbody, because that is who has shaped you to where you were when you started Beachbody. We're all like these broken train wrecks. I won't say all of you. I was a broken train wreck before Beachbody, and why does my doorbell keep ringing? And my dog keeps barking. But before Beachbody, I was a broken train wreck. But what brought me to that breaking point, and I've had enough and I need help, is everything in my past that led me to that breaking point, you guys. The anxiety, the depression, the kid after kid, the stress of motherhood, the never being enough. Everything led to me to the beginning when I started Beachbody, and that all matters because that all brought me here, and it has brought me to where I am now. So make sure you guys are talking about the past. Make sure you're sharing the past. Make sure you're sharing about who you are, because there's people out there, there's women out there, just like we were, you guys. Think about who you were when you started this business. You needed that light. You needed that hope. I know I was clinching to people and saying, oh my God, if she can do it, I can do it. And if she can make this happen, I sure as hell can make this happen. And if she can do it with kids, I can do it with kids. And just being that light, you guys, that is your invitation. That is inviting in a nutshell, is you being you and being open and sharing those stories and inviting people into it. Each post you do on social media is an invitation, you guys. Doesn't have to be worded perfectly. It doesn't have to be a perfect sentence. You guys, honestly, some people will call me out when I spell something wrong, and I'm like, clearly you missed the whole point of my post, because it wasn't about spelling corrections. It was about being yourself and loving yourself, but clearly you're too stuck on my punctuation marks or whatever. But you don't have to be perfect, you guys, and that's the best part of this business is we get to be us unapologetically. We get to share this business how we want to. We get to be just ourselves, and I can't tell you how freeing it is, you guys. We get to talk about bad things that happen to us and inspire people. Like, we are so insanely blessed. We literally have the best job, you guys. I can't love this enough. And inviting starts when you start being you, and when you start seeing the power inside of you, and when you start sharing that, you guys. So make sure you are sharing you. Make sure you're sharing the good, the bad, the ugly. Make sure you're not getting stuck up on having all the knowledge. Just start. Just go. You're going to figure it out along the way, you guys. You're not going to fall and fail, because guess what? There's thousands of us here to help you when you have a hiccup or when you're trying to figure something out. That's what these teams are for. So, number one, let me think about the advice I'd give you guys right now. Lose the perfection. Stop trying to figure out everything up front. Don't let the start stop you. So many people get so stressed out by knowing all the facts, by knowing this, by knowing that, by being a certain rank. Guess what? Do you guys know what? Nobody knows our ranks outside of Beachbody community. I could say I'm a 26,000 star diamond, and people be like, oh, that's cool. Or I could say I'm an emerald. Like, do you guys know what I mean? Nobody knows what it is. So as long as you're just being positive and sharing and changing lives, that's all that matters. They don't care if you're an emerald or a 15-star diamond. They don't know the difference. What they know is who shows up in their newsfeed and who's being positive, who's offering them help, and who's willing to change their life. And that can be you. So don't let your rank stop you from pushing forward, from sharing your story, from sharing your journey. And stop comparing yourself to other coaches right now. If you're doing that, stop that crap right freaking now. And just be you guys. People are going to be attracted to you because of you. You don't want them to be attracted to you for somebody you're pretending to be, because if that's the fact, they're going to figure it out really darn quick that that's not really you, and you don't want that, you guys. So stop that right now and start being yourself. Start sharing the good, the bad, the ugly, and that's going to invite people into your circle. And then when you're talking to them, be interested in them and listening. Ask them questions. They want to be heard. They want to know that you're going to help them and not just talk about yourself the whole time. They want to see that you can help them reach every single goal that they have. So if you guys haven't set up a form, I would definitely do that. That helps me so much in my inviting, because then I know what I'm inviting them to. I know what they want to hear about. So like I said, I'm not going to talk about Shakeology if they don't want information. I'm not going to talk about my accountability group if they just want information on, actually I talk about my accountability group every time. I'm not going to talk about All Access if all they want information on is my free accountability group, because that'll come out in my accountability group when I'm talking about Shakeology and my sweet All Access pass. So you guys, make sure you are asking them questions. So if you don't have a forum set up, it's super easy. Google Forms is what I used. I just plotted it together and I adjust it. And the cool thing is, you guys, on Google Forms, I wish I could pull mine up right now, but it will give you this really cool breakdown of all your responses, and you can see like where people found you. So I have like it shows up as like a table. Do you know what I mean? It's like 50% found you here, 45%, you know what I mean? So I can see where people are finding me. Is it Instagram or is it Facebook, or how are people relating to me, or what do most people need the most help with? The really cool one is seeing the responses and seeing what people's excuses are. Is it time? Is it money? Is it history of not following through? And if it's history of not following through, guess what? I'm going to be talking about my history of not following through on my social media. Hell of a lot more, because I know that's what people are looking for. I know that's what people need help with. So that's how I'm going to invite them is. I'm going to share my train wreck of not following through. I'm going to share my excuses of not having enough time. So it really gives you an intuition or an insight onto what people are looking for, and it's really cool. So the Google Forms is super huge. Asking questions, being interested, and not just telling them about yourself in these one-on-one messages. Ask them, and then you can come back up with a response on how you're going to get them to their goals, you guys. So I hope that helps. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. But yeah, when it comes down to inviting, I am just me, and that is my invitation, is just me being me, creating this community of people who were like me when I started this business, who were lost, who needed guidance, who needed to see that fitness wasn't really that hard, who needed to see that they could still have a cupcake and pizza and not turn in like gaining 50 pounds. Do you know what I mean? I think people have this like bad misconception that being healthy means we're working out hours a day. That means we're eating perfect every single day, that we never slip up. Like, that's what I thought going into this. So I needed to see somebody real. So right now I'm creating that community, and that's what you guys should be doing, is creating that community of the fears that you had before you started this business, talking about it constantly and inviting people into that via a Google form, or them messaging you and you asking them questions, because those questions are going to help you get them to the next point. It's going to help you get them into your free group. It's going to help you get them to where they need to go. And you guys, I run a year-long free group. It's just a free accountability group, and people might not be ready right away to buy a program, and that's fine. I put them in my group, and guess what? Most of my people in there are challengers. Most of my people are in there talking about Shakeology. They're talking about programs, and they're seeing the results that my customers are having inside my free challenge group. And guess what? A couple months down the road, they're asking questions. They're asking what I'm doing. They're asking what Shakeology does for you. And those prices that might have scared them at the beginning, or misconceptions that might have scared them, are no longer, because they're inside this free group seeing all these busy people, these normal human beings getting results with the fears that they had. So running a free group is huge, you guys, but make sure you're creating that community that's opening up and you're sharing yourself. Share, 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 you guys. Stop being somebody else. Stop pretending. Stop waiting to have all the knowledge, and just go. That's my best advice, is just go and be interested in learning about people. Be interested in them and helping them get to their goals. So I hope that made some sort of hot mess sense. But thanks, guys. If you guys have questions, just drop them below and I'll come back in. But like I said, be interested, not interesting, when you're messaging people. That is so freaking important. So have a great day, guys. Bye.